hero is someone who does something outstanding, not necessarily a celebrity, which they call heroes now, but someone who did something to benefit mankind, maybe put down their own lives to save someone. That's what I would consider a hero. My name is George F. for Frank Schneider. I was born in Akron, Ohio, about in the middle of the two wars on October the 4th, 1924. Well, Akron was known as the rubber capital of the world. When I was born, the first breath I got was the smell of sweet rubber. My parents had the American dream. They had bought a little bungalow and they were starting to raise a family. Everything was going to be fine, and the Depression hit. Everything changed. It changed considerably for the worse. My dad lost his job in 1930. I had just started first grade when we had to move. Had to move out to a beat-up farm 20 miles west of Akron. We had no running water, no plumbing, no electricity, and we managed to eke out some crops. It was hard work. We didn't realize we were that poor, I don't think. Everybody else was in the same financial condition. We were family, and I think we were relatively happy. In a way, I think it strengthened us, so maybe it was a blessing, I don't know. In 1937, Prohibition had been repealed by then. My dad was called back to his old job. That's when things began to improve. Like all kids, I always thought of being a fireman or a policeman. I never thought of service until December the 7th. That day changed everything. December 7th, 1941, I was home listening to the radio, and they interrupted the program to announce the attack on Pearl Harbor.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. The Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor.
That was a turning point right there. We knew at that time, our life would change. Lieutenant said, "All right, you sons of bitches, you're going into combat. In 24 hours, some of you bastards are going to be dead." And that's when it finally hit me. This is for real. Someone said, "You're now in the 30th Division. You're a scout in the 120th Regiment, 3rd Battalion." Old Hickory was the 30th Infantry Division. The 30th Division was a part in all 5 campaigns from Normandy, northern France, the Rhinelands, the Ardennes, and Central Europe.
The battle had already started on the other side of the Channel. Some of us were impatient. No reason to be impatient. There was a big slice cut out for Old Hickory.
Those first days in Normandy, that was a kind of a traumatic time, moving fairly rapidly across France. Battle of the Bulge undoubtedly was the toughest because of the ferocity of the battle and the weather. The Rhinelands wasn't a picnic either. When we went into Germany, we captured Aachen. That was the first major German city to fall. And that took us all the way to the Elbe River where we met the Russians. We were in Magdeburg on E-Day, or Victory in Europe Day, when the Germans surrendered. It was May the 8th, 1945. After the German surrender, we started our journey back to England to be redeployed to the Pacific for the Japanese invasion. We were not looking forward to going to Japan. We were given passes into London, and another friend and I, we went to a movie. And we came out of the theater, and everyone was running up and down the street shouting, and I said, "What happened?" They said, "Oh, Japan has surrendered." We knew that no way we'd have to go back and fight Japan. We'd be going home. Well, we were on a train heading for Southampton, and as we neared the docks, we could see it in the distance. A big, massive ship. It was quite a sight, really. We didn't know at that point this was our ship. All we knew was it had been used as a troop carrier, and we knew it had been a luxury liner before the war. Almost all of our division boarded the Queen Mary. I rounded off at 15,000. You didn't find a room or a bed, you found space. The decks were covered, hallways were covered. Considering we were on our way home, no one really minded that. Almost 24 hours a day, there was a chow line. All I can remember was snaking throughout the ship and eventually getting to somewhere where there was food. Didn't take any time at all to get used to the comforts of a warm bed or a hot meal. Coming here from the airport, it was similar to seeing it in Southampton. As we got closer, I recognized it from a distance. Well, the old girl hasn't changed much, really. She's aged well. She's aged better than I have, I think. The last time I was on the Queen Mary was August 21st, 1945, when we docked in New York. A friend and I decided that we would have the best position on the ship immediately below the captain's bridge. As we approached, two ferry boats joined us, and they entertained us as we were going into the port. As we continued, there was a large sign on a warehouse they lit up. It said, "Welcome home, well done." The captain would often blow his horn, and it would echo through the apartments and the high rises. The vehicles along the road, they were stopping to witness this, and the motorists start blinking their lights, and then they start blowing their horns. 3 dots and a dash, the Morse code for V, for victory. As we approached the Statue of Liberty, it was getting dark, so they threw the spotlights on it just as we got within sight of it. And I guess that's when we realized that we were the survivors. We had made it, and we were now home.
Must have been a very proud moment.
That was a very proud moment, yes. We occupied a unique window in the history of our country. Like I say, we were born between 2 wars. Our whole youth was in depression, and that's what shaped our generation.